And all that should be left is something that's going to refresh my marriage and make my marriage good and strengthen my marriage and bring glory to God. Right? The chunks of the world and my attitude and my selfishness should be sifted out. So the action step for determination is don't give up, but give in to God's ways. When we replace our ways with His ways, things will definitely change. The next thing we need is a team attitude. And I would imagine in this group of ladies that there's probably team moms and soccer moms and swim moms and PTO moms and moms that have bunco clubs and moms that have prayer groups and moms that have cooking clubs and all kinds of, we're all about doing things and organizing things and, right? We're team, women are team players. We like to get together and do things together. So what happens when we go home and shut the door? Are we still a team player? Do you take all that same energy that you do into organizing soccer stuff or being a scout mom or organizing a fundraiser? Do you take that same enthusiasm and give it to your husband?
No, we're tired.
Because we're tired, right? I know. In fact, unfortunately, we are so tired that often we become our husband's biggest naysayer, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do it this way. Stop before someone gets hurt. Don't wake up the baby. We often stop them in the middle of their sentences, right? The list of that is endless. But the Bible says we're supposed to have a team attitude. I love this verse in Jeremiah. I will give them singleness of heart and action. Back to that theme of unity again. So that they will always fear me, and that all will go well for them and for their children after them. So I'm going to do the same thing with this verse. I've got me and what God gives me. And then I have whatever ticks me off that day, whether it's the neighbor's dog or my kids whining. It doesn't have to be my husband, because all kinds of things affect our attitude, right? The sale I missed at the store. Or maybe I have things that make me sad. I'm disappointed. I didn't get that job I wanted, or my son hurt my feelings, or I don't know, I wish I could see my mom more. Anything that could make me sad. And then there's things that make me jealous. Why is life so hard, right? When are my kids going to sleep all night? Why did my car break down today? How come I got in an accident last week? Any amount of things have my stinky, yucky attitude, right? What's the verse say? Singleness of heart. Same thing. That verse got a little messy, but it still took everything out. All that stuff that I want to hang on to and that I'm going to spread around no matter what, even if it doesn't have anything to do with my husband. If the goal is singleness of heart, then we have to be forgiving. Our husbands can't get our backlash for our bad day, because the goal is singleness of heart. And I love the promise of this verse. The singleness of heart and unity has a promise that it will go well for them and for their children after them. There's not a lot of things in the Bible that give you the promise down to your children. There's not a lot. This is one of them. Singleness of heart and action. We have to be on our husband's team. So the action step for this one is be on his side and be by his side. You want to be on God's side and by your husband's side. This world has enough things to fight against in our homes, in our times together with our husbands. We should be fighting for each other, defending each other, standing up to one another, up for one another, encouraging each other. All right, the last thing is perspective and motivation. We've talked about challenges. It's going to bring situations that seem impossible. Jobs are lost, finances are ruined, in-laws apply pressure. There's a million trillion things that make marriage, it's just part of life. I mean, it is going to be difficult. But I love, when I'm having a time where I just think, how could this possibly be? One of the things that I always hold on to is that nothing surprises God. Like, he didn't get to this day in my life and go, oh, I'm stumped, I don't know what to do. He doesn't do that. I do, but he doesn't. He knows everything before it happens. He knew 20 years ago that I'm going to have a bad day tomorrow. Hopefully I don't, but he knows that's going to happen. It's not a surprise to him. Why do we think it is? Like, we think this is the one thing that he can't solve. It's not. Our crisis is not the one thing that's going to stump God. He has got us all covered. John 10:10 says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." So the enemy comes. He's going to attack. He wants to steal our joy. He wants to kill our relationships. He comes to destroy our attitudes. What did God come to do? He came to bring life. Life in everything we do, and life to its fullest. Now, I think this verse is one of the most misunderstood verses, because people think this verse means fullest means our world's society definition of fullest. Fun, happy, rich, successful, have everything you want. That's not what this verse means. This verse is in the context of the beginning of a story, or it's in the middle of a story, in the context of a sheep and shepherd. It's not in the context of the worldly things we think of, our jobs and our homes and our health and any of that. It's in the context of the sheep and the shepherd. The full life that it's talking about is the one that comes from a sheep willing to submit to the protection of the shepherd, willing to do what the shepherd says. It means that life is lost if the sheep doesn't follow the shepherd, because that's exactly what happens to sheep that run away. They get attacked. It doesn't mean richness, success, every day is happy. It means protection and comfort and care. It is peaceful, but that peace comes from protection and the knowledge of the shepherd. That's what that verse means. So here's the bottom line, I think. We women, we're doers, right? And we see something and we let it paralyze us. Heather, can you grab that rope? Like, you don't have to grab the end, but maybe down there where it's starting to curl. Can you pull? Pull. Pull. Okay. Now, we do it. Pull again. This is what we do. This is what I do. I look at a problem and I try to solve it, right? You can stop. I try to solve it. And if it doesn't work, I usually pick up the rope and try again. And sometimes I pick up the rope and try again, and then I might sit down and cry, right? Can you pull this one? Oh, sorry. Here we go. Pull that one. My point in this is sometimes we just need to look at things a little bit differently. Like, we look at a problem and we want to do it our way. We want to solve it our way. We see how we think is best to solve it, how we think is best to get through it. Can I suggest that maybe your husband's perspective might be different? He might go, what are you pulling on that end? You don't pull on that end, you pull on this end. Right? And God's perspective is going to be different, wildly different, probably than both of ours. Sometimes we have to have a different perspective. And we tend to only want to see things from our perspective. This problem can only be solved this way, right? This problem can only be solved if he does this. Nope. Try asking your husband, what do you think about this problem? What do you think we should do about this problem? He might have a totally different, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to challenge you, because it's going to be the difference between pulling on this long rope that you can get a lot of leverage from and this little string up here that looks like it's worthless. Not worthless. Totally came out easily. His perspective is different. We have to be motivated not just to fix it our way, but to fix it. I'm the first one to say, I'm all about my way. I get very entrenched in my